Oh, yeah, we're here. Hi.
Hello.
Oh yeah.
My name is Special Guest. That's special.
That is very special. Hi.
That was my birth name. I had it changed.
I'm Madfish, and I am going to be running this game today, and on Wednesdays or Mondays in the future. Apparently, I'm confused about what day it is. And I have a concept and a bit of a world and some ideas and all of these lovely people to game with. To be super fun. Really looking forward to it. So I would like to start by giving you guys sharing a little bit of the background and the world, and then you guys can introduce yourselves and your characters. Or you know what? How about we just start by you players introducing themselves and just quickly say something about your character. We'll start with Evelina.
Hi, my name is Autumn. I am going to be playing Evelina Carmond, a middle-aged forest gnome monk who joined the force and has since adopted the role of kind of the team mom. Whether anybody else thinks of her like that or not, that's how she sees herself. And yeah, she's gonna go on some lighthearted adventures, hopefully.
Oh yeah. And our special guest number one.
Which one is that?
That'd be you.
Oh, that's me. Okay, sorry. I didn't have the actual thing up.
Okay.
My name is Christiana. I will be guest starring today as Soraya, or Raya, as people tend to call her too. She is an adventure chaser, kind of the resident bad girl, but hides it behind a sweet persona. She ran away from home and kept running, so she's just into anything and everything that can bring fun into her life.
Awesome. Next we have Cabby.
All right. Cabby is a 42-year-old rock gnome wizard. Is kind of nervous person in general, not socially, but when it comes to monsters and beasts and whatnot, he definitely prefers the back lines. He has joined up because he needs a job because his parents, Myrna and Edna, decided, hey, leave our house. so he went off to find the wizard, as it were, and is fairly new to the group.
Awesome.
He's also pretty obsessed with looking pretty. Has magics to do what he can.
Well, he's got the shiniest buttons on his uniform for sure.
Well, yeah. Why look fabulous? Or why look drabulous when you can look fabulous? Is his motto.
I like him already. And Norin.
Yes, I'm playing Norin Glenlyn. She's a half-elf monster slayer, acolyte of Sulfrid, who left this particular region because there was some political strife against the nobles and the local church. She decided not to take any sides, so she remained neutral, and because of that, she was ostracized, and she just fled the region and decided to put her best effort somewhere else. And so she's found this group.
That's awesome. She comes with this whole backstory. That's awesome. We'll have to make sure that, is it mysterious? Does she tell people about her backstory? Is she very quiet about it?
If people ask, she doesn't mind talking about it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that way.
We'll get to find that out over time. That'll be great. Special guest number 2, Paladin Hulk.
slightly less special than the previous one. Hi. Hi, everybody. I'm Paladin Hulk, Twitch moderator for Random Tuesday, Little Red Dot and the Starwood Initiative. And today I'm playing Mortimer Jones. When I was younger, me and my wife, Wendy, would solve mysteries together. And when the bards got hold of our stories, we became famous. I wanted more and more. Being famous made me so happy, until it didn't. When Wendy left me, I tried to fill the void with more public appearances, more merchandise, but nothing worked. After a few years, I realized it was never the fame that made me happy. It was Wendy. It had always been Wendy. And that's my character.
Oh, that's fantastic. I like it. He's so dramatic already. And we next have our last regular character will be Balhadur.
Hello, everyone. I'm Media Flair. I'm a voice actor and entertainer, and I shall be playing Balhadur Morthak. I am a dragonborn, born and raised in this city, and I have served the military, the town guard for about a year now. Fiercely loyal. My only two priorities are the safety of this town and longevity of my life.
That's great.
That's fair.
I just imagine him, them saluting a lot.
Yes.
What happens when
whatever
those
our
two
salute
goals
is.
clash?
First
Angst.
priority is the town first.
All right, let's put that to the test, shall we? I'm interested.
Speaking of the town, you are all in the beautiful and picturesque town of Marciano. If you want to imagine Marciano, think like the Swiss Alps, that kind of mountains, where everything grows. There's a lot of really good farming, a lot of good farmland. It's beautiful. There's it's really nice to look at, and Marciano is on a mountain. The region are called the Coppertop Mountains, and the particular mountain that they are on is called the Jade Bottom. And the road, there is a main road that leads through the mountains, and Marciano is along this road. For the majority of its life, Marciano was simply a stop place. There's a few people who lived there year round, but it was largely a place for travelers to stop on their way through the mountains. However, a few years ago, the wizard arrived in town. Everyone calls her the wizard because every time anyone asks her what her name is, she gives a different response. People have given up trying to figure out what her name is and simply now refer to her as the wizard. Her tower is crooked and odd and crumbly looking, and it looms oddly in a way that it probably shouldn't stand up. And no matter how you look at it, there always are clouds and lightning, spooky weather behind it, but not irrespective of the rest of the weather. So no matter what angle you come at this tower from, there's spooky lighting behind it. The tower is just outside of town. Inside the tower, the wizard has begun offering trials, testing her new security systems, testing spells, testing defenses, that sort of thing. She pays very well for adventurers of all levels of experience. And so over time, over the last few years, Marciano has grown quite a bit. And with so many adventurers, a few of them ended up being a little bit rowdy. So a few adventurers, former adventurers who had been decided to settle in to town, started the town guard. You are called Fortune's Few, though you are more than you were when you started. And you have a station, you have some staff, you are staff, you have a police chief, there are 2 receptionists, a coroner, and an assistant that all work in the station with you. As well, you all have, because you are such a small force and you're just starting out, you do have the ability to deputize people or take in consults and that sort of thing. So some of you are familiar with the town, some of you are a little less so. It's generally very clean, very pretty, lots of, flower boxes on windowsills and that sort of thing. People like it to look nice because it's become so popular. They want to present a good image. So today we will start in the there are so we'll start in the station, and you have your police chief. Her name is Jada Vitor. She is a half-elf knowledge cleric. She's incredibly smart. You really can't get anything past her, and that's why she's become the chief. She's incredibly good at spotting liars, so she's sort of worked her way up. There are a set of moon elf twins that work the reception. They're named Primrose and Poppy. They are completely identical and are often very difficult to tell apart. The best way to do it is to know that Primrose works during the day and Poppy works during the night. Just hope that you remember when that switchover is and you don't call them by the wrong name.
Do they have a surname?
Sorry?
Do they have a surname?
No.
Okay.
Your coroner is Kwame Bertolon. He is a Tortle grave cleric. He's quite old, but has the steadiest hands of anyone you've ever seen. And he's very devoted to his job. And he is also also does funerals and that sort of thing for the town.
What was his name again? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'll put it I'll put it all in the chat here.
Oh, perfect.
And your assistant is Miyazaki, who's a gnome fighter. And he's just basically an intern. He's a young guy, early 20s, and just kind of wants to learn the ropes. So he's just sort of the runner, the gopher, the make me coffee guy, or go get these files guy, or whatever. So that's your staff around the station. Your station has, you have your coroner section in the basement. You have a handful of jail cells to put people in who need a little calming down. The cells are also enchanted so that people can't use magic inside the cells. Because, well, a knock spell is very common and very easy. Yeah, and you're just, I don't know, whatever you think you would need in your basic station. That would be what you have. So that would be those of you who are your regular, the regulars. Mortimer, you are here because there is a Bard school, Bard College, the Tiberius Caldwell College of Barding is in Marciano. And they are putting on a play presentation.
Of one of my books.
Of one of your books.
I love plays.
So you've been invited to see the play. And so the play is in a few nights from now. You've just gotten here early to hang out. Yeah.
Oh, I hope they cast my Wendy well.
And then we have our other visitor, Soria. You've run away to come here. Would you have maybe run one of the trials, the wizards, to get a bit of a job?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So you joined, sometimes when the wizard posts her trials, there are people who, there's a sort of area you can go to if you don't have a group, and you can sort of group up with random people. And so you grouped up with some random people and ran a trial, the wizard. It was a lot of fun. You had a good time. You made some decent money. And one of the people you ran with was named Gianna Handler. And she was a fighter. And she had run with you guys despite being an older woman. She ran with you guys, the sort of lower levels, saying that she hadn't run a trial in a long time and, really just wanted the experience, wanted to have fun. And she had a good time, was very grateful for your help, and let you know that she helps run a cafe. Stop by and she'll give you a cup of coffee. So you've been hanging around the Ground Up Cafe. Now, today, we're going to start in the daytime. You've started the morning. You've all come into work. And the police chief comes into the office. And there's a Yuan Ti woman with her. And she speaks to the woman. And they come out of her office. She speaks to the Yuan Ti, shakes her hand, and the Yuan Ti goes off. Those of you who are familiar with the town, who maybe spend a lot of time around town, know that this Yuan Ti is named Suniva, and she runs the Yuan Tea, as in TEA, and bakery. And as she's leaving, she seems to be upset. She's expressing, a lot of. She looks very frustrated. She's kind of grinding her teeth, and she's very frustrated. And as she steps out, there's a small child, looks just like her, probably her daughter, with her, and takes the child who'd been sitting on a chair, sort of reading a book, and takes the child, and they leave. And your police chief comes over. Well, crew, it's a bit of an odd one.
Odd? Here? Since when? Just like sarcastically behind my cup of I assume coffee exists in this world, so
Yes.
Evelina definitely is just sitting behind her cup of coffee. There's like a donut in one hand and a coffee in the other, and she's like passed out a bag that you if you've been around the force, you know that it just contains like a multitude of baked goods. Like mildly convinced it might be a bag of holding that just holds baked goods to everybody else who is there.
Jada takes one, takes two, and complains about how tight her uniform is getting thanks to these, but she won't stop eating them anyway because they're just so good. Well, now some of you might be a bit familiar with Suniva there. Runs a bakery.
Yeah, I've come across her a couple times.
Well, she also lives out of town has a little ranch. And something awful weird's gone and happened to her cows. Seems they're now making chocolate milk.
Chocolate?
Like naturally, like straight from the animal, just no additives.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
that is.
I might be a cleric, but I'm pretty sure there's some magic happening there.
Is it all the cow or just a portion of them?
Well, she only has a few. She don't have a great big ranch. She only have maybe 6 or 7.
Understood.
So it's all of them. But it's awful strange. So I'm gonna send y'all out there. Check that out.
All right. Evelina will just pick herself up, like pack up her bag and still be drinking her coffee as she kind of like pats Cabby on the back. She's like, well, weird is right up your alley, so off we go. Yes?
Yes, I'm already working on a theory. I think it's a dietary thing.
Hey, well, let's work and walk because then we'll be back in time for lunch.
Oh, yes. All right.
All right.
I imagine she has this massive reusable coffee cup, but it's somehow never empty.
Yeah, and it's like a human-sized travel mug, so it just looks like massive compared to her. And she carries it with like one hand with surprising ease, and nobody's quite figured it out yet.
And Cabby, when when he can. Totally her shadow. Just where he feels most comfortable.
I like that. Even though he's a great deal taller than her.
No, I'm 3'5".
They're both wee
Yeah.
folk.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm 3'5", shaved head, long green and white hair, basically down to my hip, but still just small.
And
Only on one side.
because
Instead of 9'9",
Evelina-
it's gnome.
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
Try not to become the
Evelina's like
Charles,
3'2".
but I know I will.
Well, you can blend characters. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely will.
What about Noran and Balhadur?
Chief, are you sure this is even worth doing? Chocolate milk, really?
Hey,
Well-
if nothing else, we get free chocolate milk out of it.
And it is a concern of the citizens, so we have our duty to inspect it.
Yeah, what Killjoy said.
It could be industry changing too. There could be a business opportunity here, assuming no one's getting hurt.
Fortune infused chocolate milk. Yeah, that could be interesting. I'm
It
just saying.
has a ring to it.
Yeah, I would come up with something maybe market tested a bit, but yes. Workshop the name.
So it is.
Free range organic. Straight from the udder.
And then since Carmen puts on a motherly leadership type of personality, I'll always follow behind her, one step behind and to the left.
Very marching.
Such towering bodyguard.
Yeah. It's funny because when I feel like when Balhadur first started doing that, Evelina was slightly worried she was going to get stepped on occasionally.
And my apologies, I'll make sure to take an additional step behind.
Oh no, that's okay. I just short legs.
Well, you guys actually have a cart. So you have or like a wagon, paddy wagon, and a horse. I would say you guys have one great big horse, so it's strong enough to pull all of you. And the paddy wagon is also enchanted to be lighter for the horse pulling it. So all of you, and if you need to throw a criminal or two in the back, it's not an issue. So you guys can get into your paddy wagon, and you can name the horse.
Its name is Horse. HORS. Horse.
Of course.
about
Of course.
Of course, the horse. The horse's horse. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, how far away is her ranch?
Well, you're you guys are stationed conveniently in the center of the city, right near, Central Town Square, just so it's easy to find. So when you have to sort of go out of the city and then you travel just maybe 20 minutes, it's not that far, just sort of into the farmland area, and you come across a very neat, tidy farm. You see that there's a sign there. It says the same. The Yuan TEA farms and ranch. As you're coming up the sort of front area, there are rows and rows of tea and different herbs that are used in tea growing, and it's spring, so everything's growing very nicely. And then you can see the barn in the back. It's a nice tidy little house, and so you pull up and you go into the back at the barn, and as you pull up, someone comes out, it is a where am I? Oh, it's a young human man, and a half-elf woman. They come out and kind of wave hello.
Evelina I'll just jump down and give a jaunty wave, trying to draw myself up tall enough to be seen.
Now, you all have uniforms, and of course they're customized to fit your particular, body needs. But your main sort of thing is that you have, nice bright buttons and a little badge that says that you're police. So it's obvious that you are with the force. So when they see you, the two of them, you two are with the police, yeah?
Yep.
Yes, and you've said you'd be coming. You're here to see the cows, right?
Yeah, something about chocolate milk.
Yeah. It's really weird. And the young man looks like he's trying not to laugh.
Yeah, well, weird is what we do, or at least more this one. But what we're here for.
So the two of them lead you to the barn. The young man says his name is Xavier, and the other, the half-elven woman's name is Toria. They're employees of the farm and the bakery. They kind of go between both. And what we just, we got here this morning to open we got, because we start really early. We get here before sunrise, and we milk the cows and get eggs from the chickens and all of that, which we would then bring to the bakery so that we can start baking. And so, we sat down to milk the cows, and at first we saw the cows and they all looked, I don't know, something just didn't seem right about them. And then we started milking them, and and you look over, and Xavier has sat down. One of the cows is led into the stall, and he sat down, and you can watch him milk the cow, and he seems to be doing it normally. He shows you the pail, and you can see and smell that it seems like fresh milk straight out of a cow, but it is chocolate in smell and color.
Is it still safe to drink?
Oh yeah, right fresh out of the cow like this, yeah.
Has anyone tried? Oh
yeah. Xavier's like, yeah.
We have a person for that, I guess.
Why not?
Xavier's like, yeah, of course I tried it.
And you're feeling just fine?
Yeah, it's just tasted like milk with cocoa in it.
You're a brave lad. You're a brave lad.
Well, I mean, it looked and smelled and seemed fine, so.
And this wasn't a plan by the management or anything?
No, yesterday we came here and did this exact same thing, and it was regular milk. Today, chocolate.
Could I bother you for a glass?
Sure. He gives you a glass. Did you want a bottle?
Yeah,
it's not a milk bottle with the stopper.
Right. Well, no, I think I'm just gonna down it now. I don't need it to go.
Yeah,
and it's pretty big in my hands, but I try to one gulp it. It doesn't work. It pours down my sides. But I look around to see if anyone's impressed. But And then I just like fold my
Xavier looks
arms and
impressed.
wait. I fold my arms. I wait to see if I feel anything.
Are you dying?
Oh, dying is not good. That was not on the to-do list today.
Did it taste good?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, it fresh like milk straight out of a cow. If you're not used to it, is a little bit of an odd taste. Because it's still pretty warm.
Yeah.
And it's whole milk, so it's very, very fatty. So you actually feel very full. It has almost like a little bit of a buttery taste to it. It's not bad, and it tastes like chocolate. Just tastes like exactly what it is.
Yeah, like that was really satisfying. I will log this and tell it as a story to people who care to listen. And they will think I'm daring.
Sizzlewick, we're not here for stories. We're here to do a job.
Oh well, yes. Also, I wanted to first-hand experience with milk. If I start to feel ill, I will report immediately.
Good on you.
Toria, she's just. I don't know why you guys are. Why you guys are just drinking these. But okay. See, like, so we're not really sure what to do. Suniva said we should contact you because clearly someone's done something to us.
Has there been others in the area that you weren't familiar with that could have maybe tainted your cows in some kind of way?
Or any enemies in town?
Well, we run the Yuan Tea bakery. Sometimes we have a bit of competition with the Ground Up Cafe.
Disgruntled employees that you might think of?
I mean, I'm not really friends with them. I don't really know them. Maybe they...
Might the cafe have access to cocoa beans or anything of this sort?
Well, yeah, they specialize in coffee and all that kind of stuff. Like, we mostly do tea and bakery and baking, and they mostly do coffee, but they do also a bit of baking. So, like, we kind of compete over, like, the baking, right? But I mean, I always thought of it personally as just like friendly business. Our cinnamon rolls are the best. No, our cinnamon rolls are the best. It was just like that. I didn't think it was like serious. And I mean, the chocolate milk is kind of good for some stuff, but it's not going to work for everything. Some things we need to make without chocolate, and all the cows, we've tested them. All of the cows are chocolate now.
Yes, I can see how that'd be a problem for vanilla cake.
Why don't you
cakes are just off the
sell
table.
one and have chocolate and regular?
Well, then we'd have to buy new cows. That's expensive.
You don't think you can make money off of these chocolate ones?
Well, yeah, but then you have to get bigger barn and more cows and
the new cows could become compromised as well.
Yeah, if I don't know, maybe something's wrong with the barn.
Maybe there's something wrong with these grounds. I start crawling around, pulling up pieces of grass, like looking at them.
Is this building cursed or anything?
You can you guys want to do investigations or whatever checks?
Okay. Yeah, whichever you prefer. I have nature or arcana if I'm looking for some kind of magical influence.
Whatever you would be looking for, you roll that.
Yeah, I think it probably looks mostly like standard. Yeah, I'll go arcana. I'm trying to look for like a magical effect.
Okay, awesome. Is anyone else looking around or investigating anything?
My 3.
Sorry, moving my roll 20. I'll look outside the building to see if there's any signs of anyone breaking in at some point.
That's good.
And roll that What is my investigation score? Wow, it's a -1. I'm helping.
Don't worry, guests, we're gonna get to you right away.
10.
Nice. That's
so I'm crawling around and like licking grass, like hearing it just for like hums of magical energy, and because he's kind of eccentric when he goes about it. Very frantic. I got a 23. But if the grass isn't magic, he still just looks still having a good time.
Okay.
Strange tracks that might have come through here, or something that might, maybe some type of I don't know, other rogue gnomes that might be trying to, I don't know, sabotage the farm in some kind of way.
I guess. Yeah, if you want to have a look around outside, you can roll survival or nature. You're looking for tracks and odd things. I just kind of want to get it.
Roll a 10.
Okay. A 10. All right. And is what's the other character?
Evelina Carmen.
Evelina.
Yeah, I'm just Evelina is just going to hang out and try to calm down the nervous employees slightly. Still drinking her coffee, but she's also going to ask for a bottle of the chocolate milk. Definitely not to put in her coffee.
Okay.
Back at the office, but potentially.
You're totally getting some.
Awesome.
All right. Cabby, you do pick up. There is a hum. There's a resonance of thaumic energy here. You know that a spell has been cast, and that it was some kind of area effect spell. Yeah, you're not casting identifies. You have like
right
sort of, but you kind of get the idea that there was a fairly powerful, reasonably powerful spell cast here, and it was some kind of area of effect. Because you're kind of getting you get a feel for like a bit of you sort of feel like, okay, it's here, and then it stops. And then you can almost sort of follow a line, around where all the cows would have been at night, in the barn resting. So the spell was cast clearly on top of and directed at those cows.
Okay. Perfect. Can I hope I'm not out of turn here? Just put a piece of grass in my mouth, chew on it, hope it's not toxic, and detect magic as a ritual.
Okay. The grass tastes very, very faintly of chocolate.
Oh, perfect.
And as you cast your detect magic, the other two of you are looking around outside of the barn on a 10. Unfortunately, you're having a bit of a hard time picking up the tracks, because between the humans and the gnomes and the yuan-ti, who leave snake trails, it's quite difficult to sort of spot if anyone in particular, if any of these are particularly out of place or odd, because they sort of all look odd.
Okay.
It's not quite enough. So you're going to cast Detect Magic.
Yep.
Can you?
As a ritual, though.
Yeah. Can you just click on it for me? I just can't remember all the specifics that it.
Yeah, you want me to pop it in the chat?
Yeah.
Let me know if that works okay.
Yeah, it did. Okay. So, as you finish the ritual, you kind of open your eyes again, and you see that very faint aura around everything. You see all of the cows are surrounded by this aura, and they need to and you know, there's a little bit of grass and a little bit of things that, you know, kind of just picked up the edges of the magic, but it was a transmutation spell.
On the cows seem to be the focus of it.
The cows are the focus of it. You can tell that it is a handmade spell.
Okay.
It's a homemade spell. It's very clumsily put together. You're kind of surprised that it worked at all, because it's so amateurish, and
Right.
it's sort of like someone attempting a high-level recipe and then just somehow succeeding despite never having baked before.
I relate to that personally. All right. So yeah, can I relate that to them? I like.
Yeah.
So it would appear that some hobbyist, some amateur, has cast some transmutation magic on these cows.
I don't get it.
No, it's all right. It's
That facepalm is in character.
puns are in the portfolio of gnomes, not everyone else, and it's, you don't have to feel bad for not getting it. I feel bad that you didn't get it.
Anyway, transmutation magic, we were saying?
Yes. Cobbled together by certainly no wizard.
Does it seem like an accident, or was this a conscious act?
Well, it seems pretty with intent. They missed a little bit. There's faint elements of the magic scattered about, but mostly it seems like they had a thing out for these cows, or the owners of the cows. I would say we have intent here.
Definitely not the wizard if it's poorly done spell.
No, probably not.
And you have never known the wizard to have done anything to anyone. She seems to be quite well off. She's quite happy with herself. She doesn't bother anyone. So there definitely are plenty of wizards who come through, other wizards, varying levels and schools and all of that, who come around. But yeah, as you said, whoever composed this spell is not a trained wizard.
Right. Should we? I'm new. I don't know exactly how things work, but should we be taking in a cow for evidence?
I don't really think we have the. I don't know if we have the infrastructure to keep one. I think it's easier just to keep them here. You know.
What if we just tied it to our horse?
Not that far, so. We can just...
I was wondering if we put the cow in the jail cell where we have the anti-magic fields. If perhaps they would de-chocolatize.
Perhaps that's actually a good point. We could try it. I suppose they can't be that hard to lead back, right? I mean, I'm no farmer or anything like that.
Theoretically, yeah, you could do it.
Well, we have that really magically levitous light wagon.
Yeah, you could probably get a cow in the paddy wagon.
Or
if
we're worried, I can ride the cow. I've ridden them before. I'm not your typical city gnome. I come from the country. We ride cows.
We should probably get permission from the store owner first.
Oh yes, of course. I just didn't want to trouble them with the proposal before we. Again, as I said, I don't know how things work yet. Okay. Evelina, is it?
Yes.
Am I being foolish here?
Sorry.
No, I think that's a very good idea, and I trust your expertise more than mine when it comes to magic.
Right. Okay. Yes, I do know a bit about cows and magic. I'll take a point. I turn to Xavier. Was it?
Yeah.
Can we borrow your cow?
Yeah. I mean, it's for science, right?
Well,
Hear in the background. Yeah, science. That's it.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Daisy here is our best behaved. She's very chill. So she's and he goes and gets one of the cows and leads her over and helps you get on and sets you up to ride the cow.
well met, Daisy. We're gonna become close friends on this journey.
And he gives Daisy a handful of daisies, and she just starts chewing on them, and she starts walking, and she just chews and walks, and you can direct her wherever.
I'm so proud of you, Cabby.
I'm really breaking out of my shell.
This is exactly what you need.
I'll follow you. I can't wait to write home to Mom and Dad about this. I'll follow all y'all.
All right.
And, does anyone talk with animals? Because I.
Oh yeah.
I want to make sure Daisy's actually okay with this.
I don't think this qualifies as a beast, a small beast, so I don't think I can use my forest gnome.
You know what? I'll let you.
Okay.
Because I'll consider not because they're a small beast, but because they're like a domesticated beast.
Okay.
So
I mean,
just consider it.
have to...
Daisy's like, yeah, it's all good. I don't mind. I like to see new places.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Carmen, should maybe on our way back to the station, we could stop by the Ground Up Cafe and see if the competition is a little less friendly than they say.
Yes, I agree. Perhaps we don't bring the cow with us to the cafe. But
why not?
I was of the notion that perhaps we can draw people out of the cafe and with the spectacle of the chocolate milk cow.
But if the people are trying to get away with it, but us parading a cow through town might alert whoever cast the spell to the fact that we've been caught out, or they've been caught out.
That sounds smart.
And this is why I listen to you.
I occasionally have good ideas.
No, you always have incomparably good ideas.
Did I see you actually speaking to the cow?
Oh, yeah. That's Daisy. We get on great now.
Hello, Daisy.
Did we all hear the part where the cow sang at the end?
Did you ask Daisy maybe what might have happened to her?
Oh, that's a very good idea. I'll go back up to Daisy, and I pull like treats, whatever kind of like apples or whatever out of my pocket, and start feeding them to her. And I'm like, so just out of curiosity, before we go on to new places, which I know you're really into, do you know what happened last night? Like, did you feel anything weird?
Yeah, we all came in after a nice day, lots of food, lots of sun, and I was having a nice sleep. And then I felt a zap.
A zap? Like lightning?
But a little one. It didn't hurt, but it woke me up.
Did you see anybody or anything after you woke up from the zap?
No, it was dark, and all the cows complained. Everyone complained, and then we went back to sleep.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm taking notes. Yes. And is that with 3 or 4 O's in that moo?
Oh, that'll be 4 O's.
Moo. Yeah, sorry. I'll have to ask a translator for this later.
Yeah. So I'll turn back to the group and like, well, she doesn't really know what happened, just that they were woken up by a small zap, kind of like lightning, but it didn't hurt. And then they went back to sleep. and they didn't see anything because it was dark.
Cows do not have dark
Neither do I. I bond with them.
vision. Okay, so are you
Solidarity
taking
cow.
are you taking the cow back first? Or are you gonna like
What do you think, Carmen? Should we drop it off at the chief or head to the shop immediately?
I think we drop it off, and then maybe we'll hit some more, get some more people at the cafe right around lunch rush who might
Very
know
well
something
then.
or have seen something.
Come on, horse, let's go.
all right. So you guys go, you go back to the station, you drop the cow off, your assistant Miyazaki comes and takes Daisy inside and promises to get her into one of the cells and then record. Give her some time and then give her a bit of a milking and see what happens. So he's promised to do that for you while you're off, asking questions, doing your investigation.
I make sure to it's like, oh yeah, and make sure you get one of the wizards or somebody to like prestidigitate the mess away if there is one, because none of us want to deal with that. And walk out.
Yeah, you don't want, unless you arrest some criminals you really don't like, and then you can put them back in the same cell that you had Daisy in. Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. Maybe that's cruel and unusual punishment. I don't know.
There's
It's
no Geneva
unusual.
here. Fine.
Unusual for sure.
Unusual for sure. So you show up at the Ground Up Cafe, and as you said, it is lunch rush, and our guests are at the cafe, ready to have some lunch. And
Oh boy.
as you're sitting out on the terrace, it's a lovely day. There's a little sort of terrace out front, and so you're having your coffee and sandwich or whatever right out front when the police paddy wagon shows up.
Oh, criminy, it's the cops. And I'll check if I don't have any like weed on me or anything like that.
I'm just gonna like start hiding like my forgery kit, make sure nothing is visible, and just very presentable and sweet.
I'm innocent. And so when you guys get out of your paddy wagon, you see, and if you're, those of you who are familiar, when you see Mortimer, you're like, that guy actually looks familiar. The reason he looks familiar, and you look over on the wall of the cafe, there's a poster for a play starring someone who looks remarkably like a younger version of
A
this old
much
man right
younger
there.
version. But we're dressed pretty much the same. Only my clothes are a little more worn than the clothes on my picture over there.
But it's the same clothes. He's just been wearing them the whole
No, it's a trademarked outfit.
time.
I have to wear the same thing. Have you never seen a celebrity?
Yeah,
It's part of the gimmick.
his whole closet is just like the same shirt and the same pants.
Sacrifices must be made.
I lean into Carmen. That looks like the book nerd that's on the portrait up there.
Yeah. You know what? A little bit younger though, and a little bit older. She's like sorting it down in her head, and it does the same clothes.
He's
Everybody is clean.
I'll walk right over to Mortimer and say, are you that individual in the picture there?
Why, yes, I am, young woman. Would you like an autograph?
I sure would. Thank you. I'm glad you asked. Here.
Oh, good.
Here you go.
And I'll just whip out like a prepared picture that I've had drawn, and I don't give many out of these. I don't give many of these out anymore. So it's a nice treat. Did you read the books or did you watch the puppet show?
Both.
Oh, that's amazing. I prefer the puppet show myself.
Me too. I can't read.
Oh, what? Ooh, a dragon.
I kind of look at everybody like I'm like starstruck, but I kind of bring it back down. Yes.
Well, Norin, as a fan, you know that Mortimer is well known as a high-end investigator.
Oh.
Yeah, some few decades ago.
Norin, this is embarrassing. I would also like an autograph, but I don't think I could talk to him. It's incredibly scary idea.
Your friend seems to think I'm deaf. That's very insulting. Not all old people are deaf.
I'm just imagining him hiding.
I'm really bad at modulating. I'm so sorry.
I'm just imagining him like behind Norin's legs, like, could you please?
But I am really bad at modulating. I think I'm whispering, but the Norin ears are so far from my mouth. It's like
she looks at Abby and like takes him by the hand and is like, "Come over here. He's not the bias. Mortimer, this is another fan of yours. His name is Cabby. Also like an autograph.
Do I have a lot of fans in the police force? That's new.
Oh, say something, Cabby. Right?
Somewhere around 50% of us are fans. If I'm just
my God, it's an
I'm the one fan in the office.
I've got to tell my publicist, which is me. So I guess I know now. Oh,
yes,
good.
This is a very strong demographic for you.
Yes, apparently.
We
still
consider
I'm all emotional
your
now that you still care about old Mortimer Jones.
We also know that you are a very well-to-do investigator.
Well, I used to be. You know, I've aged a bit. You know, I don't know if you can tell by the completely 100% gray of my hair now, but my best days are behind me. So.
I think so. And gray makes you look even that much more handsome, of course.
Oh, that's so kind.
But what if I said we might have the greatest mystery of your whole career? Would your best days still be behind you? Because we have this thing with a cow that.
The cow
that makes chocolate.
You might want to write about. Yes.
Did I hear you say that it made chocolate milk?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like with an apron and in the kitchen? Because that's a minotaur and not a cow. They get very particular about that. But no, like from the udder.
Yes, we watched them milk it. It was pretty illuminating.
It's been cursed with some form of transmutation magic and
a curse.
Or enhanced. It's not to get into semantics, but otherwise altered to produce tasty milk.
I mean, chocolate milk is more expensive than regular milk, so.
But not this way.
No.
No,
I mean,
not.
This is a blessing, right? So I'm assuming that it's the owner themselves who've had this done.
No, they were quite confused and confounded by it.
Oh, you spoke to the owner already. Well, you're way ahead of me then.
Well, excuse me, officers. Hi.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Did you also want an autograph?
Who are you?
Did she just...
I'm sorry, I'm not from around these parts, so I really apologize if I'm...
No, it's quite all right. It's fine.
Evelina is standing there, just like nodding, like, yeah, this is Ether, and I've been around a while.
Okay.
I lean over to Evelina. I'll share you his books. I'll share them with you.
Okay, sounds good. And we're actually whispering because we're at proper ear height.
Yeah, like I can actually whisper it.
And a little dainty purple hand kind of reaches out to shake your hand. Talking to Norin here, actually. I couldn't help but overhear you asking questions. And I'm sure you're here to do some kind of investigating. I saw something a little suspicious last night. I've been hanging out here because I know the owner, and maybe it's of interest to you.
And what exactly is that you might have saw? What is your name again?
Oh, my name is Soraya, but you can call me Raya.
Soraya, but we can call you Raya.
Yeah, all my friends call me that.
We're not friends yet. So Soraya, you said could you come over here with me, please?
Sure.
Excuse me, everyone. This young lady here just introduced herself to me. Her name is Soraya.
Hello.
Pleasure.
That's pertinent to the case.
Yeah.
She just information.
So last night I saw two little girls. One was human, the other was Yuan Ti. They snuck out of the back, they shook hands, and then ran in separate directions. Now, I mean, there are lots of children in town, of course, and of course they're always playing, but for that time of night, and body language is 55% of how we communicate, so they just seemed a little suspicious to me, you know what I mean?
Was it the part where they ran away from each other?
I mean, why would you shake hands and then run away? Why do our little kids like shaking hands like that?
They might have
anyway?
started a game of hide and seek and agreed upon the rules.
Very possible.
Gentlemanly, yes.
In the middle of the night, you said?
Yeah.
Seems like an odd time for kids to be playing.
That's what made it really suspicious to me.
Yes.
Interesting.
Maybe they're nocturnal.
DM, what is the population of Yuan Ti in this city, seeing how I've been born and raised here?
Very, very few. Basically, just the bakery owner and her daughter. And I mean, there's like the odd one, those are the only two permanent residents that you're aware of. But there are people coming in and out of town all the time and settling in, so it's kind of hard to keep track. It changes every day.
Soraya, you said this was a young one, the Yuan Ti?
Yes, they were both young. The other was a human girl.
What were you doing out there at that time of night?
Well, I mean, it wasn't incredibly late for an adult, but for children, a little bit. They should be at home, possibly getting ready for bed. But I was here having coffee, pastries. There are, I think, a few other people here too. I don't know any of them. I'm really not from these parts.
Okay.
I lean into Carmen and remind, the shop owner Yuan Ti did have a daughter.
Yes, good point. It's like noting things down in my notebook. Perhaps we should talk to them. But Zeneva seemed really upset when she was leaving the office today. So
I'm happy to help. I mean, I could identify anyone that you possibly think could be suspicious, or obviously I could identify little girls too. I'm getting a little bored here.
Well, we do have the right to deputize people who might help us in our investigation. Do we have a monthly allowance of how many we can do?
No, I mean, you're trusted to be reasonable about it, so.
Well, you can just give out jobs. That must be amazing. Do you always go to the poor people's quarters and say, you've got a job, and now you've got it? No, wait, you're highly pregnant. That might not be the best.
We tend to stick with physically and intellectually capable persons.
Those who can work toward your goals.
I did try to deputize a transient pregnant woman, though. You have the gist of it. I mess up sometimes.
She was very helpful.
It was like his first week on the job. He was doing fine.
Yeah, turns out she was helpful. She maybe not as helpful as all of that money was worth.
but she had her ear to the streets, is what I was thinking.
Well,
Can't
I
be
can
good
be
for the
very
baby.
helpful. I play a lot of instruments. I know some magic. I was actually in one of the wizard tribes, so I've got a little bit of experience.
Oh, and you are still alive, so that's a good
That
thing.
means the wizard approves, which
Yeah.
means she checks out.
I don't like that wizard, calling herself the wizard. You know how many of us wizards there are, and now she's the wizard?
She has a bigger T, the one with the line on the top of it.
Yes, well, what did she ever do to deserve that? I was a wizard. I can
That.
do tricks. And I'll just like do some quick prestidigitation of some fireworks. See?
Ooh.
Well,
Impressive.
if it's a matter of fixing articles to the word wizard, I'm willing to be those wizards with you.
That might be the trick. Or maybe we could call ourselves the best wizards.
Are you considering any? Is there room in your publishing career for perhaps a spin-off? Maybe about a cow
I mean,
and a dashing young wizard gnome? We can call it Those Best Wizards.
I am getting to be that age where a protege might be in order. So
Are you kidding?
have you ever considered changing your name to Mortimer Jones? You know, that is the trademark.
I'm not attached to my Camelbird. It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue.
Well, that sounds great. Let's go solve a mystery then.
Yes.
Wait. We have to officially deputize them some kind of way. Do we have
Yes.
do we have like a dance that we do or something?
We have this box of small badges.
I have a badge that says Mortimer Jones Investigations. It's not really the same. But...
I'll put this over the M.
Oh, okay.
And you both little tiny deputy badges.
Evelina definitely like hops up on a chair to be more human-ish height, and draws her short sword in like mock knights.
Yeah.
Now it's official.
Just got a sword. Oh wait, it's part of the. Okay.
Right.
Oh no, I don't hurt people with this. This is just for, deputizing. And sometimes deputizing
I'm
them
not
to the
much use
grave.
with weapons.
Hey, well, Mortimer, now that we've given you a badge, you said you had.
Oh, do
some
you
of
want
it.
a badge too?
Yes,
Is
yes,
this it?
please. There's room
Oh,
right
all
next. Yes.
I mean, I don't really have a spare one of these. I'll have to look in the trunk, and that's all the way in my room. Oh.
Maybe another time. Maybe
All right,
another.
so
maybe another
so
time.
you've deputized the two, and what's next?
Carmen, do we have a new lead to investigate?
We could go talk to the kids, maybe, if we can find them.
Think Sarai would know where they are or last place that she saw them, possibly.
You said they split into two directions. Did you see where they went?
Did I see where they went?
You can roll. Let's see. What would be a good thing for that? Like intelligence or something to try and remember.
Okay. Just a general intelligence check.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the same.
Okay. 10. Oh, that's fine. Or unless it's a different number.
No.
No, okay. You don't really remember, you just kind of they both just seem to go in, they came out the door and then they both just went into like the opposite ways down the streets. But it's dark and little kids can be pretty fast, so they just kind of took off into the dark. But you're staying in the inn next door to the cafe, and you do remember hearing a little bit of something in the middle of the night, you'd gotten up to go to the washroom or something when you were sleeping. You thought you heard something, weren't sure if you did, went back to bed.
I'll relay
But
that.
that would have been like 2 a.m. when you were well asleep.
Well, I don't know exactly what direction they went in, but there were some noises in the night. Again, not from here, don't know what exactly goes on at 2 a.m., but that's really all I can tell you.
Well, chocolate milk does sound like a child prank, or the Fae, or a chocolate elemental.
That's a
Those
thing.
are real. They might be. I don't know.
Shit, I need to write that down.
Chocolate elementals.
Yeah, then.
I've never fought one before.
I don't think there's an elemental.
Elemental plane of chocolate.
I think he might be pulling your leg.
No, he's not touching me.
So I shouldn't be writing this down.
I don't really think
No,
it's
no, no.
necessary.
Write it down. It might come up in creative fiction. There's an angle you can take. Yeah.
You've got to think of all the angles. And once you cross out all the ones that are really far-fetched, you'll end up with the one that's not that far-fetched, and that's usually the right one.
Seems like
Yeah,
it sounds like
you're
you're
not
really
wrong.
starting really far away from.
I mean,
Very
you've got to start
wise.
at the start.
Chocolate elementals. I'm writing it anyway.
You're like, if there is a chocolate element, I want to meet this chocolate elemental.
And there's no way it's not shaped like a pretzel. Like a chocolate pretzel.
I was thinking a big bunny, but
Hey, Carmen,
Oh.
are we legally allowed to interrogate children?
We're not going to throw them in a holding cell and
Well, yeah.
good cop, bad cop like we normally do. I'm just thinking maybe we talk. I'm child-sized, and I can probably bribe them with pastries to tell me things.
That does work a lot.
Bribery allowed.
So you're calling dibs to good cop. I'll be slightly less good cop. I don't have it in me to be bad cop.
Okay.
I feel like
I mean,
it should
yeah,
still work.
I don't want to terrorize the children, Like we can't afford the damages. Counseling is expensive.
Right, what? No.
That's up to the chief to deal with finances. We're here to get the job done.
How about cool cop, uncool cop, and that way you're their favorite, and they want to talk to you, and I'm a square, and they won't want to talk to me.
Soraya, you remember that the lady that runs this cafe has a little girl. The couple that runs this cafe has a little girl.
And they're human?
Sorry?
Are they human, or are they
Yeah.
the ones? Okay.
They're human, yeah.
Okay.
You haven't really seen the kid because she's quite young, and she's usually, upstairs. The family lives upstairs from the cafe. But you remember, now that you're thinking about it and they're talking about it, that Gianna had mentioned having a little girl at some point.
Well, I'm not very familiar with her, but the couple that owns this bakery, they actually have a little girl, so perhaps we can start here.
Are we
Well, we
going
did-
to interrogate all the children? Because that might take a while. This is a fairly big city, if I remember correctly.
Only the human and the Yuan-Ti. We can limit it
Only
down.
the human and the Yuan-Ti children. All right.
Yes.
That should cut it down. I mean, I haven't really seen any Yuan-Ti, so...
There's
They're
only
probably
like 2 or
fairly
3
rare.
in town.
Ah, well, there you go then. What about the humans, though?
About 50% of the populace.
Gadzooks.
We've cut out 49%.
Gadzooks.
Well, shall we question a child?
Yes, well, let's look around this bakery, and You see Evelina kind of peering around, like, and through people's legs to look at the pastry cases. And maybe we should get lunch while we're at it.
I agree.
Okay.
Evelyn, we're outside the bakery still, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like on the terrace.
Mhm.
Evelina will go inside
I'll follow.
to kind of.
I'll go with her.
Yeah,
she's definitely just gonna stand in line and try to like order food.
I'll wait by the door.
Okay.
I'll also wait by the door.
I'll wait by the door as well.
All right.
I'm pressed up against the pastry case.
Do y'all want anything?
Oh, I just ate, but that's very kind of you.
Scone.
Right.
Yes, there's this little thing over here with an orange glaze. I don't know what it is, but it.
And
It
I'll
looks great.
nudge Belchadur and I'll say, "You're supposed to say please."
Scone, please.
There you go.
Thank you.
Hey, yeah, of course. You're welcome.
I'm a
Can I-
wizard. I know all about magic words.
Oh, I didn't just cast a spell on her, did I?
No,
I don't
no,
think
no.
so. Unless it's the spell of French. Wait, that's an actual spell. Don't cast friendship on her.
I'm
That's
sorry.
terrible.
I didn't mean to. I don't normally do magic.
Evelina's just like, I don't think you actually cast any magic. It's okay.
All right. I'll resume guard then.
She's only saying that because you cast friendship on her. Wait till that thing wears off.
How long is
Ooh.
that?
Let me look that
About
up
an
in
hour.
my spell book.
I think it's about an hour.
Looks over at the town clock.
While they're debating whether Evelina has been put under a friendship spell, she'll get up to the counter. And is there a gnome height counter, or is this like the hobbits
Yeah.
in?
No, they're
Yeah.
they accommodate because this town is specifically made up of people of so many varying races. All places have adaptive doors, chairs, tables, so stuff either moves
Perfect.
up and down, or they have varying levels of counter height,
Okay.
Yeah.
So at the gnome height counter,
Yeah.
she'll order everything that the scone and the thing with the orange glaze and a cinnamon roll and do you have anything like chocolate?
Oh, yeah, we have our chocolate eclair and we have chocolate coffee.
She'll hold out her mug and be like, chocolate coffee, please.
Oh yeah, they fill that up. And,
And how do you make the chocolate coffee? I'm curious.
oh well, employees telling you that they're the owners have their own little ranch. They have their own little farm, and they grow cocoa beans.
That's
They
very neat.
they really struggled to get them to grow here, so it was a lot of work to get them to grow. But yeah, we're one of the few people who actually can grow chocolate cocoa beans around here. So
That's
this is
really
the best place to
cool.
get it.
Would I be able to visit the farm and see the cocoa beans?
Yeah, I guess if you just
Amazing.
go there.
I'm
Could-
calling it now. Those are totally going to give milk.
Squeeze the cocoa.
Yep.
Milk comes
100%.
It's like all the memes about milking an almond to get almond milk. Like,
Get the little almonds in your fingers and just.
I will make a note of that and grab her tray or bag or whatever of
Yeah.
pastries and her coffee and nod a quick thank you because her hands are full and
Mhm.
scurry back to the group and just kind of balance her coffee somehow and start handing out
There,
lunch.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
You?
It turned into a carrot.
The real spell all along.
So yeah, so you guys have your meal and it's fine. Um,
Wow, that's a glowing recommendation.
it's
Never
great.
mind.
Like there's nothing. I meant there's nothing wrong with it.
I
It's fine,
disagree.
like
My
D&D
cookie
mechanics,
is
close to
is
masterwork.
spicy. My cookie is spicy, and I wasn't expecting that. And I'm upset.
If anyone, as you're, eating, are you like keeping an eye on people around you? Are you?
Like a
making sure
casually-
that nobody is doing anything suspicious or dangerous.
People watching. I am going to keep an eye out in case any human children run through that look like they
Okay.
might be related to the
Okay.
bakery owner.
So you guys, if you want to roll perception checks, sure
Yeah.
do. Everybody can roll.
I feel like I'm just going to talk to a random human child on the street, and then
Oof.
they're going to pull me back. Like, no, not that one. Oh,
The ones inside the building.
oh yes.
I got a 13.
I am very enamored by my chocolate coffee, I think.
I can't believe you rolled that. A
Like,
double
looking
nat
through the
ones.
mug, just
This is the best coffee.
I've like
ever.
poured some of the chocolate milk into it to make it more chocolate.
Yeah. You're just like you're making that like Homer Simpson, drool noise. And yeah, that's double nat one. So you don't see nothing. All right, is that everybody? Roll Norin.
Yeah, I got 12.
23 for me and there.
Okay. 23.
Mhm.
Okay. So Soraya, you spot what was her name? Gianna, the fighter lady that you ran the trial with. You spot her come downstairs to check up on the cafe. She seems to be, doing her usual job, looking around, checking things on a notepad, blah, blah, blah. And she looks over and sees the uniformed police and looks pretty nervous and seems to finish up her work pretty quickly, go back upstairs. Norn, as you're watching, you just happen to look up just before she goes back upstairs. You spot a tiny head of a small child poke her head out, look into the room, see the police. Her eyes go huge, and she ducks back out of the way.
Is Gianna in range for me to use a message spell?
Mm-hmm.
Like turning my back from the group a little bit, I'll just kind of go, "Hey Gigi, there's some people here who want to maybe talk to you and your girl. If you don't want to, I suggest just getting the hell out. But I can try to divert them if you want."
She's like, I guess I should talk to them. And she comes down a few minutes later. The little girl is behind her, holding on to the back of Mom has an apron, and she's literally holding onto Mom's back apron string, looking really scared and hiding behind Mom. And Mom comes over and she's, sort of compose herself. She looks around at everyone. Hello, thank you for coming to the cafe. Can I help you with something in particular?
These kind people just had a couple questions. Strange things have been happening around town, and they've come here to maybe see if they can figure it out. So your compliance would be helpful.
Right, yeah, of course. Anything I can do to help. I haven't noticed anything strange.
Well, we're looking into some odd reports of some weird magic that's making cows do weird things like turn chocolate, or not turn to chocolate. The cows aren't chocolate, but the milk is chocolate. She'll
We
pull
haven't
out the
tested
bottle.
that part yet. None of us has cut it open.
Well, we don't want to go around damaging people's property.
Did you make the milk turn chocolate?
I would like you guys to do insight checks.
Heck yeah. That's one of my positive scores. Yeah, 21.
Ooh.
All right, I'll take it.
What is with Evelina?
I have a +6 to insight, but no, apparently not.
That's 3 nat ones in a row.
Yep. I am
Yeah.
on a roll. It's not a good roll, but
It's good to
I'm
get
on a
all those
roll.
out of the way before there's combat.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
maybe
true.
you need more coffee.
Yeah. Obviously, it's not enough coffee.
The roll 20 needs more coffee, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. Cabby, and who rolled the 21?
Bahadur.
Bahadur. You both notice that she doesn't react when you mention the cows, but she seems genuinely shocked when you mention chocolate.
Just quickly filmed the
That sounds about
newborn
normal.
hold in a ring sling. I mean, I don't
So
think I
wait,
did
you
it
know
very
when
well.
she's listening, like to this, and you know, of course, with your cop eyes, you're watching all of her
Right.
expressions and facial features and everything.
Mm.
And you realize that most people, like, she acts a little bit like it's almost like the concept of the cow is not as much as a surprise as them making chocolate is. The fact that it affected the cows doesn't seem to be the surprise.
Okay.
All right, you're making weird faces and I can't tell what you're thinking, but did you turn the milk into chocolate?
Well, we're not here to accuse anybody. We're just very
Oh,
curious.
we're just asking
That's
questions.
part of our job.
Yeah, well, as Soraya here knows, I am not a spellcaster. I was a fighter in my younger days. I have, and she, shows there's like a stand behind the counter, and there's like a old sort of battered,
What?
but
I
it's all
would
So
polished
she's
up and
deflecting.
nice.
That's not a yes or a no.
I
think
don't-
She's
I
guilty.
would
I haven't done
hardly
anything. I don't
call-
know how to cast spells.
I would hardly call the person who cast this spell a spellcaster. I mean, yes, they cast a spell, but everyone can get lucky every now and then. This was rudimentary. This was
Oh, you didn't think they meant to do the chocolate thing?
Well,
I think it was some bad homebrew type stuff.
Oh, interesting.
well, I do understand that you have gone through great pains to be able to grow your own cocoa beans. Yes,
Oh, yes. Yeah,
I am
I
very interested in that process.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was, gardening was a hobby I took up when I sort of gave up fighting, and I learned a lot. And the soil here is actually pretty good for cocoa. I discovered. So, yeah, I worked out a way to grow it.
Would we be able
you
to come
secretly
see
a
your...
druid?
Yes,
A
that's
druid?
what,
No.
Mortimer's usually pretty right about this kind of thing.
don't know.
He's got a polished brain and sharp wit. I say
True.
I say we pursue this.
Let us see your druidic
True.
focus.
Well, I mean, I know Gianna pretty well, and if she were a Jew, she probably would have used that somehow in our trials, but
I did say
she doesn't
secretly.
have that ability.
People hide things. It's normal.
Could-
I don't
Oh,
talk
Could we
about my
come
rogue
just see the
rifle.
plants?
Yeah, of course.
And Cabby cannot wait to eat some of these plants.
So she's the only one that's answering the questions, correct?
Yeah.
And I noticed that I noticed that the kid kind of popped down and showed this guilty look and then popped back, right?
Yeah, and right now she's looking between all of the uniformed officers, just with huge, terrified eyes.
May I ask, did you know where the little young person that's hiding behind you, were you aware of her whereabouts last night?
Oh, Zora? Yeah, she's my daughter. She was in her room last night. Yeah. She, because we're up quite early, and she has a tutor come by in the mornings. So she's usually in bed by about 10. And that's where I put her to bed last night. She was in her room. She's reading a book when I left.
When you left?
I tucked her in, gave her a book, and I came back downstairs to do some more work.
And she kind of looks at the little one, kind of smiles, looks back at the mom. And you didn't check on her anytime after that?
I checked on her quite a bit later, yeah, and then she was asleep. I just poked my head in. Zora's never run away before. I don't see why she would start now. And she kind of reaches down and like ruffles the kid's hair.
Can I get down to a Zora height? I assume I'm probably
You're
already Zora
there.
height.
Just tippy toe a little bit.
Yeah. and I just kind of hi, and I hold out this bag that is just somehow still filled to the brim with pastries.
And her eyes are like, she changes from like terror to like wonder, just like.
Doesn't she live in a pastry shop?
Yeah, but this is different. These are different, and it's magic. How did you get so many in that little bag?
A lot of practice.
There's so many. There's 1, 2, 7, 9.
Well, that one's not a wizard.
So I hear you like playing games with your friend.
She looks like she's about to answer, stops, looks up at her mother, looks back at you and says, I don't have any friends.
I press X to doubt.
Well, I know Siniva's daughter speaks highly of you.
She's like, she does? And the mom cuts in and says, Zora is not allowed to play with Midori. They don't get along.
Why?
They don't get along, and whenever they play, they end up fighting. So we decided to separate them.
Is this true, little girl?
She looks at you again, looks up at mom before answering, and just kind of nods.
It's okay, you can talk to me. I'm famous.
Yeah, you're on the poster. And she points to the poster.
That's right.
How come you're old, though?
Well, I'm done.
I ask, is it possible that we can speak with, it's Zoraya, correct?
Zora.
Zora, is it possible, Mom, that we can speak with Zora alone?
Well, I don't see why you need to.
Take a sidestep in between the child and her. This is a matter of town guard business, and we need to get the problem solved. It'll be short and quick.
We'll be in good hands. We promise nothing will happen. We want to ask her some questions without any influence from, say.
Oh, that's true. All right. Zora, you stay here and you answer all of these nice people's questions, okay? And Zora nods. Mom will be right there. Okay, you need anything, I'm right here. And she goes to the other side of the cafe where she can still see you, but she's out of earshot. so that, and the little girl is standing there, and she's got a little stuffed owl bear, and under her arm, she's just kind of squeezing it and looking up at you guys.
My good friends here are just going to ask you a few questions. Evelina and Cabby would like to ask you some questions. That's painless. We'll give you another pastry if you'd like, and they're going to ask you some questions. Okay?
She nods.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think go for it.
So, why doesn't your mom want you to hang out with? Was it Midori?
Midori, yeah.
With Midori.
She pauses a minute and then looks around and realizes that, looks back at Mom, and Mom kind of nods like, it's okay, go ahead. And she turns around and she says, well, me and Midori get along really, really well, and we're really good friends, and I really like being friends with her, but my mommy and her mommy don't like each other, and they fight all the time, and they yell, and they said that it was us fighting, but it wasn't, it was our mommies.
Yeah, adults are weird like that, right?
Mom,
Yes, we are.
other mom doesn't get
Did I mishear you earlier? Did you say you don't have any friends?
Well,
other than
Midori is
Joy?
my friend, but I'm not supposed to be friends with her, and sometimes we sneak.
That's
I like
that's a
sneaking.
sign of a good friend. Good friend sneak.
She giggles. She like put her hands over her face.
What kinds of things do you do when you sneak?
We play.
What's
and
your favorite game?
Hide and seek. Midori is really good at getting into places that I can't get into, because she can go.
I am not very good at getting into places either, and I'm pretty small.
And we like to go exploring, and we like to go looking in places that we're not supposed to go.
Ask her
Would you two like another hide and seek player?
Yes.
You two can be on a team that way.
But I'm not
And
allowed.
Evelina and I will.
But I'm not allowed, and if Mommy finds out, then I'll get in trouble.
Well,
We
perhaps
promise
with the
not to
police
tell.
or that. I was going to say perhaps with a police escort, but discretion's maybe kidnapping is the route we want to take.
I don't like to lie, so I'm out of this conversation.
we could be direct so that charges don't come up. We could
Well,
take you out with a. You want to go do a ride along and also play hide and seek?
I can come with you in the wagon with the giant horsey.
And Midori, and then we can play team versus team hide and seek. And you show us
and
how to hide.
She says, okay, and she runs, just flies across the room in that way that little kids run. And excitedly talks to Mom, says that the police are going to take her for a fun ride in the wagon.
Down.
It sounds...
And she's just like jumping up and down, super excited, because she wants to go in the wagon, and she's going to go for a ride in the wagon. And
I'm going to follow behind and just kind of try to calm this. I apologize, ma'am. Because she was very helpful and she was very well behaved, we thought that this would be a really good, because we know that we can be kind of scary with uniforms and all that. So we thought that this would be fun, and we promised to bring her back at a very reasonable time.
This is part of our
right,
community outreach program.
And she looks at this kid who's just so excited, like literally jumping up and down, and she's like, okay, you just bring her right back, just drop her off right here at the cafe when you're done. Okay, sweetie, you be good, and you listen, and you don't run away.
Wow, this mom is really chill about this. I would not let my kids go with.
I'm doing this for the sake of ease. I'm imagining there's a bit more real life actual conversation with details and things happening, but that's boring for streams.
It's just a ride along.
Yeah, you're cops. They're fine. So yeah, you're taking a kid for a fun ride. She's like a 5-year-old kid, So yeah, she's okay with it, and she has to go back to work. So as this big wave of customers comes in. So she goes back to work, and the little girl follows along with you and is like super excited. And yeah.
Does it pass strange that our key informants today are a cow and a child?
Some days it be like that.
Some days it do.
Chief informants are a cow and a child. Oh, it's great. I love it.
So as we're riding along in the wagon, I'm just gonna turn to Zora and be like, so you said you got into places you weren't supposed to go, which I do all the time. But where did you go? Somewhere last night or recently?
When you say last night,
take a halberd out of her hands, because this is where you keep the halberds, and the kids
and
playing
she's
with
just
it.
like,
I'm
"Whoa, what's this?
That's probably
Whoa,
not a
what's
good
this?"
idea.
Touching everything.
I'll just hold on to the oops. Oh.
Try the sword, it's easier to handle.
She's like,
Oh,
okay.
don't give the child a sword. It's as big as she is.
Oh, let's start with daggers, yes.
We're all gonna get fired, and Jada is gonna be like, leave your badges and swords on the desk when you.
And you guys are all in the wagon, and you've set off, and she's I imagine Soraya has also come with them.
Yeah, just to make sure that everything stays kosher
the kid.
You're babysitting. This
You
makes
didn't accidentally
perfect
hand
sense.
it off to a bunch of murderers or anything.
Well,
she
Soraya,
knows you, so you're in charge of the kid.
Yeah, Soraya is friendly with Gianna, and so Gianna's trusting, Soraya to keep an eye on the kid. And the kid, whenever she gets scared or nervous, she's looking over at Soraya for help. But when you mentioned last night, she gets this really guilty look for a second.
You're not in trouble, and we're not going to tell anybody, because that's not why we're here.
We're here to learn how to play hide and seek.
And learn secrets.
But what
hide
if
and secrets?
But what if when you tell a secret, you would get somebody else in trouble?
Are you doing harm to them, or?
I don't know.
Does the secret that you're keeping for another person that you're worried about getting them in trouble, are they getting other people in trouble? Are you are you protecting someone who is hurting someone else? At which point
She looks so
awfully
confused,
complicated,
and she's starting to get upset.
And Cabby's really confused too.
No,
Look,
it's okay.
Break through this all. If your friend can have cows turn into if she can cast spells to make cows give chocolate milk,
She didn't cast the spell.
That's a valuable skill.
She says she didn't cast the spell, and then she goes,
Well, then someone did. And
I think I've cracked the case.
We have to help your friend by finding out who cast this spell.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything that can help your friend?
Maybe.
Maybe's a yes.
Because that's a valuable skill, and whoever's casting all that magic's gonna make a lot of money.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Well, I guess I'll just put this sack of gold somewhere else if the person who casts all those spells doesn't want it. And I'll just play with some my coin purse, and I'll take out some gold coins.
And she stares at them like, oh.
But also, how many pastries should we give you?
You've given this kid so many pastries. Like, it's amazing how much she can pack away. Like, she's just this tiny, skinny little kid, and she's just like,
because I have 3/4 of a spicy cookie if you want it. If that would grace your palms, you can have it.
Kids and spice generally don't mix.
Neither do spice and cookies, but here we are.
I like them. Anyway. Where are you guys going?
I think we're just
I
doing laps while we're talking to her.
can you show us one of these secret places? Is it small enough for a gnome like me and Cabby to fit into?
Uh-huh.
I would
But-
really like to see it.
But you can't because there's so many people there.
Well, I have this really cool thing that allows me to get in even through a lot of people. And I just kind of like point at my badge. And I'm like,
But they would see.
and
Uh-huh.
well, sometimes being seen isn't a bad thing. But if you give me directions, I can get you a badge too. And then you'll be all official.
I can also willing to be a distraction if that would help.
Can I see Midori? Can Midori come in the wagon? Could she come for a ride too?
We'd have to talk to Zaniva, but we can try.
Okay. And she sticks her head out the top and yells directions to the other cafe.
Perfect.
Horse, this is Child. Listen to it.
I lean over to Nora and I'm like, I can't believe you just asked Mortimer for a autograph.
Oh,
What did you learn to? You're just so brave.
What was that?
You're just so brave.
Yeah, well, I did get a little starstruck, but never get another chance at that.
What if he hated you and was just nice about it? Would that?
I will be right back.
I don't know, but he seems nice, and you got an autograph. I got an autograph.
I know, I'm so excited, but I think I'm going to follow in your stead. I think I'm going to be more willing to meet my heroes.
Yes. I mean, you shouldn't meet them all sometimes, but when in doubt, just go for it. It's just one of those things where if you see something, go for it.
And if they say no, you keep at it.
Can someone teach me how to whisper? I genuinely don't know.
Yes, I can teach you how to whisper. I'm very good at being quiet.
And I'm sure that
Yes, that's what we all say.
Yes.
well, now that we have a little downtime, you can chat his ear off right now. Mortimer,
What?
we know that you've been so many different, adventures with your investigation skills and whatnot. What other stories do you have that would be encouraging to us?
Yes, what's the scariest one? What's the...
Well, I've written out 4 books in my backstory, so it's going to be one of those 4. Let's see. Mortimer Jones and the Wishing Wizard. That's going to be the scariest one. Yep, a wizard with a wand of wishes saves a town from demonic apparitions. And he sets himself up as mayor, claiming he could solve all their problems, but he doesn't want to waste any wishes on them, preferring to use tax money. And me and the wife discovered that the wizard is an illusionist charlatan who is embezzling tax money and actually caused the apparitions he saved the town from.
And then what did you do? Did you...
Well, we solved
I haven't
it.
been able to get that book.
I mean, we're not cops, so we just say, "Ha-ha, you're the bad guy," and then we walk away. Nope, that's not true. We did call the cops, and he's in jail now.
Yes, I think
I
saw
mean,
the
in the
puppet show
book, there's an
version of
epic
this.
showdown, but that didn't really happen.
It didn't.
Maybe you could write another novel and include all of us, like with Soraya and.
Oh, I didn't write them. That was all the publisher.
Well, you came up with a
Do you
story.
have some
just-
sort of bard that follows you around and notes your journeys or something?
Well, it was an agency, and well, they were very professional about it all. It really wasn't as fun as you'd think it would be. It was a lot of contract work.
Did they keep the rights to your story?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
And my image.
that's how it goes.
And the puppet shows.
That seems legit.
That's yeah. I hear that's how it kind of goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, freelancing. Yeah, it's not fun. That's why I joined the police force. You know, freelance
Because you don't
adventuring,
like
no
freelancing?
benefits. No
Hmm.
benefits.
Not
No help if your arm gets chopped off. You know,
Oh, yes. So what happens if
Royalties.
you're in the police and you get your arm chopped off?
benefits. They pay for it. At least I don't have to pay for it out of
They
pocket.
pay for you to get your arm chopped off. That's pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah, that tracks.
I
You
mean,
don't get-
I don't want my arm chopped off, but if that's what you want and the cops will
then
pay
don't
for
join
it,
the
that's
force.
amazing.
and
Zariah, you said you were an adventurer.
In a sense, I mean, I prefer following adventure. It's inspiration for my music, and I have my own skills as well, but I can fight, I guess.
Are you local here or just stopping by because of the wizard?
Stopping by because of the wizard. I'm not from here. Passing through.
Ooh.
You have
What did you
plans
want
for
from
your
the
next
wizard?
adventure?
No, I sort of get tips from every town that I'm from, or every town that I travel to, excuse me, and ask people about tales they've heard, or if an adventuring party comes to town, I sort of link up with them and follow them wherever they go next, and then we part ways when I feel like the inspirations run out.
Hmm. Like an inspirational scavenger. Interesting.
these skills, or do you spoken word them? That's what the right thing to say about poetry.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Do you make words or you sing them?
I can do a little bit of both.
Most people, when they sing, they also use words. Those are called lyrics.
Thank you, Morty.
I don't know that language.
There are a lot of them in D&D, so I'm not surprised.
So you're a lyrical wordsmith.
Dog.
Try to be. I'm fairly new to it, but I'm studying and gaining experience. And I mean, recently with the wizard trial, I mean, that was just phenomenal.
What did she put you through?
Well, I had to sign an NDA, so I can't really talk about it.
Ah,
but
yes.
It was great.
Curse those NDAs.
You know, but you will hear about it hopefully in a song one day. But for now, we're in secrecy.
That's gotta be a breach. That's the idea. It's like you
There
should
might be
talk
a
about
yearly
this, but
time
you
limit
can
on
sing
the
it.
NDA.
I specifically, it said I was not allowed to speak of it, so I assume if I sing it, it should be fine.
Yeah.
That is a different language, as I've learned today.
Yeah,
just do it. Do it with a what's it called? A roman clef. Just tell the story, but with the guise of fiction. Then you're good.
Just based on a true story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Change
Exactly.
two things, problem solved. You do know, Soraya, that there is a bard college in town.
Right, yes, the Tiberius Caldwell College.
Yes, he's Tiberius Caldwell, an incredibly famous bard, incredibly famous as an actor, and he doesn't sing. He's an actor, but he has deigned to allow singing and music, and even the dreaded lyre is allowed to be played.
Right, my proficient instrument.
It was a character played by Unmade Gaming. He's absolutely hilarious, and so I put him into this world, and that's his bard college. So if you want to get in on a new bard college, possibility, maybe get maybe working with the cops help you find an in, maybe you can get a scholarship or something.
Yeah, cool. I could definitely look into it.
Yeah, you can call this like work experience. On the what would they call that? Practical studying. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
That's
You can write
That's
letters
a
of
great
recommendation.
Course credits for work done. Yeah.
I can't wait to go to the Bard College and just canvas all the theater kids. They're delightful.
All the theater kids will just be telling you all about the drama between themselves.
Yep.
Oh my God, did you hear about who Jessica's sleeping with this week?
It's everyone. We're theater kids after all. I can
like
say that.
all the
I was a
stereotypes.
theater kid.
Yeah. So you guys are, you've been driving around. You said you were going to go pick up the other girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So you get to the other, the Yuan Tea, TEA coffee shop. And you head in. It's the same deal, with the shop in the bottom and the house above. They're
Wait,
actually
are we at the
closed.
shop or at the farm where they were before?
Well, you're gonna go back to the shop.
The
Because
shop. Okay.
the shop is closed right now, but their apartment above is they have where they are. So they're you guys stop there, and you go knock on the door, and
No, we're cops. We kick in doors. That's how that works.
Are there any Snaresons home?
Would you like to see Cabby try?
he's like
Well,
yeah,
we'll
you
work
knock on
on
the
that
door.
later.
Mhm.
Suniva answers.
I have knocked.
She. Oh, hello. Yes.
We're looking for this one's friend, and I'll shove the little girl forward.
Oh, friends, are you? And the little girl is like, "Ah!" and like she's about to cry, she's gonna get in trouble.
Oh.
And Suniva just, it's okay. She kind of crouches down and she's like, it's all right. It's okay. I'm not mad that you're here, and I'm not mad that you guys are friends. You want to go play with Midori? She's upstairs.
And we're also here to help repair the rift between you and her mother. Or not. Or not.
I don't remember agreeing to that.
I got
part.
very
I
confused
also
about what
don't
this
recall
quest
agreeing
is
to
all
that.
about.
The little girl just like darts up the stairs behind
So
her.
I took a personal interest in it. If you don't want to be a friend, that's understandable. Some people are not.
I do not.
All right.
People
She
are.
opens the door and lets you in. You come inside, and everything is styled, of course, for Yuan Tea, because that's what they are. So it's a lot of sort of long benches.
I like that you have a ramp instead of a staircase.
But yeah, it's
Ramps are
much easier.
great.
Well, I suppose you have a lot of questions for me.
Yeah. Well, first off, we've looked into the cows, so we figure we should update you a bit about that.
Mhm.
It appears some magic was used.
Look at this ridiculousness. This dog is like stealing the show behind me. Like, look at this. She's rolling around her back, and
Trying to get some attention.
Yeah, we gotta step it up, you guys.
why are you being so
Gotta
cute?
step it up.
Pretty
I
hard
can't
to be
compete
cuter
with
than a
that.
Pomeranian. I'm sorry.
This is true.
So yeah. So what happened with the cows?
Somebody seems to have tried to cast a spell on them. It looks like they might have actually succeeded, but we're not quite sure where it came from. But if you have any information about that.
Can you roll some persuade information out of her?
Oof. I am not a persuasive person.
Get new artificial dice.
You can change your dice color by changing the color under your portrait on Roll20.
Mhm.
Might work.
Oh, she started snoring. She's fast asleep on her back with her paws in the air and snoring.
All right.
Oh yeah, I rolled a 2. So
Okay, so you rolled a 2. Is anyone else going to try and
All
talk?
right, so we're thinking that those girls cast the spell somehow.
Can your
Are you
child do
teaching your
magic?
girl any magic?
No.
Do you have any magic books that they could have gotten into?
No, I'm an alchemist. I study plants and mixing them. I mean, my shop is famous for my tea blends. I don't do magic. I just do herbs and plants and cooking. I guess that's sort of a magic, but I don't cast spells. As for Midori casting a spell, she's so young. I can't.
Well, from what my colleagues has said before, the transfiguration spell didn't take a whole lot of expertise, so a child could have possibly have cast this spell. Do you think that Midori may have, I don't know, picked up on something to where she could possibly make cows, instead of white milk, they make chocolate milk, is what I'm trying to say.
Didn't they say that the spell wasn't done properly or something? Maybe they weren't trying to make it chocolate or...
I mean, that
You're
one
going
girl
for
comes from a
strawberry.
chocolate family, so it makes pretty much sense that that would be the intent.
Sizzlewick, what part of the magic was sloppily done? You mentioned something about that.
You feel like the whole spell was sloppily done, but yeah, it seemed to be a big patchwork spell. It seemed to be that someone had just sort of found a bunch of different pieces of spell work and stuck them together, and then just sort of somehow it worked.
All right, so the best way I can put this is imagine a quilt. Now imagine that quilt is made out of dirty socks.
Ew.
Okay. Then
The
what?
spell is the quilt. It's not quality, and it's hard to respect it, and also the magic kind of didn't totally hit its target, kind of spilled over. I have to say that I'm a little bit impressed that whoever this is made a spell on their own, but yeah, it's just like a shoddily made patchwork thing, definitely in the early stages of testing by just an amateur. It doesn't impress me, and I can only imagine how Mortimer would have felt about it if he'd been there. Probably mortified.
I don't know. I like improvisation.
I like chocolate milk. I have very complicated feelings about all of this, if I'm being frank. My question.
Well, I am too. Because Midori loves chocolate, and she always wants chocolate milk.
Does she have anyone magical in her family? Any magic in the bloodlines? Some people are just born gifted.
Do you have any magic in the house whatsoever?
Not that I'm aware of. Not that
Let's
I know.
put that to the test. Detect magic.
All right, detect magic away. You detect magic, and you get a very faint feeling, a sensation of magic. It's coming from the bedroom behind you. You're sort of sitting in a sort of open kitchen living room space, and
Where
There's
the
only
kid
a
ran
little
off to?
magic, and it's that way.
in the little girl's room.
May we speak with your child?
I guess.
Child!
She has a name.
Open the door.
I'm just
Alright,
gonna
and
walk straight to whatever the magic is.
Okay.
Mortimer
You
wishes to do a
see.
thing.
You open
I
the
hang-
door. Sorry.
I hang with the mom while they go there.
Okay, she's a little relieved at that because it's not a very big apartment, so it's kind of hard to
Right.
Evelina,
cram everybody in there.
well, who's going to do the talking? Evelina or Cabby? You're going to stay back here?
Yeah, I'm not very good at talking. I'm discovering.
I'm just gonna be standing in the doorway.
Okay.
I'll go up and try to help talk to the child. Since I have my rapport in the form of pastries.
Maybe the
Also, I'm
babysitter
small.
can help.
Does,
I can help, yeah.
yeah, does Soraya know Midori pretty well as well?
No, she's never met.
Oh, okay.
this little girl.
But I do know some tricks that could help.
Mm-hmm. So you go in, and you can see that this is Midori's room. Everything is, kind of small and down to her height. And she is a little girl who clearly loves pink. Everything is pink. Everywhere, all over her room, everything is pink. And she's quite happy about that. And she's sitting in the middle of the room on the carpet with Zora, and they both have little stuffed. Zora has her little stuffed owlbear, and Midori has a little stuffed snake, and they're playing. They're just they were just being kids and playing a game with each other. When you bust into the room, they kind of jump, and they're scared, and they kind of grab each other.
I ignore them and
When
walk
you're
straight to
startled.
the magic thing.
Mortimer walks over to her bed, which is a sort of a straw mattress and a long thing with some blankets on top, and you lift it up, and under the mattress there's a piece of parchment with writing all over it, and a few snacks.
Magic
Oh,
snacks.
Magical snacks.
The snacks are not
Wait,
magical.
No, it's just the parchment.
It's just the parchment. But obviously this is this kid's like secret stash place. And there's also like some pretty rocks and a feather and just like little pretty things that kids find that are special to
I
them.
analyze the parchment.
You look at the parchment. It seems to be now. You're a wizard, right?
Yep, and
Oh,
that's an
okay.
Arcana check where I rolled a 2 and still got an 11.
You get the impression immediately that this is a page torn from a spell book.
I check my spell book. Is it mine?
No.
Oh,
Not
thank
yours.
God. You know
I've been
how
looking for this
expensive
page.
these things are? Anyway, this is a page from a spell book. So whatever they meant to cast, it's a real spell.
And you see that it was a blank page. And you see some writing on it in several different handwriting. Some
2
of it,
or more than 2?
three. There are 3 types of handwriting, 2 of which are very clearly children's.
Okay, but the third one isn't?
No.
Here, look, cop friends. 3 kinds of handwriting on this little piece of paper.
It does
Kid.
look like it.
Kid, and a secret adult who does magic.
Is it your handwriting?
It is not.
All right.
No. No. Unless I check.
Oh, sure is he.
Nope, it's not me. Thank God.
Wait, did I write this?
My memory is not what it used to be.
I can't
And I
read.
do
but-
like chocolate milk and children.
Oh, no.
But maybe. No.
both the kids are hiding behind Soraya now and are crying and very upset. And
Don't be sad, children. We've cracked the case. It's time to celebrate.
you are going to need to somehow console and calm these kids and then convince them to talk. So you can use anything you like, anything in your spells.
Fireball.
I mean,
They can't be sad if they're dead.
Option.
It's always the one.
I don't want to do that level of good cop, bad cop.
So Riot, can you make them stop doing that?
I can try. I'll kneel down and kind of hold Zora in one arm and just kind of have Midori in front of me, and I'll just stroke her shoulder a little bit and say, Midori, it's okay, but I suggest that you maybe calm down and answer every question we're about to ask you very truthfully, okay? And I'll cast
Wait, you cast what?
suggestion.
Ooh, that is some powerful ass mind control magic to use on a child.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay, and she kind of okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Now, can you tell us?
And she like wipes her eyes and she stands up straight like she's being very brave.
Yes. Can you tell us who is the adult that was writing on this piece of parchment?
That's Zora's daddy.
And why was he helping you with this spell?
He didn't help us, we helped him.
Excuse me?
He was gonna, I'm like, she's under the suggestion, so she has to answer. He was gonna, okay, so Zora found out that her dad, he found a spell book and he was learning magic, and then he was doing it on stuff, and Zora was worried because he was so mad about my mommy and not liking her, and we were worried that he might do a bad magic because we went to the college one time and we saw a play and there was bad magic in the play, and so we thought maybe it's bad magic, and so we snuck in there one day when he was the other day when he was writing the magic, and he was writing this spell, and we looked at it and it said it was going to make the cows make milk that was all yucky and sour and gross, and so we changed it because we knew that we couldn't make him not do the magic.
Well, that was very clever of you. Anyone else have questions? They'll answer them truthfully.
And poor Zora is just so upset because, here's the just spilling the beans, and mom is in the doorway, just like.
Zora's dad doesn't like Zora's mom, or Zora's dad doesn't like the other mom? I got lost with the child.
Like the two, so Gianna and Irvin's are Zora's parents,
Mm-hmm.
and the two of them both don't get along with Suniva. Well, more that Gianna doesn't get along with Suniva, and her husband doesn't get along with her because he's her husband.
I'm still staying by the mom. I'm like, you must be shocked at this revelation.
Suniva.
No, it's not every day you get to see Mortimer Jones crack the case.
Excellent work.
This sort of thing only happens in books normally these days, but it's a one-time comeback. All right, now what? Do we arrest the dad, or nothing really bad happened?
Well, is Malinsay a thing in this town?
Beyonce?
Malinsay, a law that is, or a thing that is illegal based on morality rather than something that is written.
Oh, bad people are illegal? That doesn't seem good. I mean, what if they change?
We could have a conversation and discourage him, confiscate the spell book to prevent this kind of thing from actually happening.
Yes, I'll take that spell book. That sounds good.
We could perhaps put him in the dirty cow cell until he confesses.
I mean, we
We just-
already
we
have a
just begged
confession.
From the dad?
Well, no, not from him exactly yet, but
Well, no, this is a witness.
Hey, under control of a spell that makes her not speak any lies, it would be not hearsay.
my God, you
That's
cast a
fair.
spell on her? Why?
I did. I didn't.
Well, Joshi
How
can give you
Got
the
to get your
runabout.
natural magic under control, young man.
I'll look
or
into it.
young person.
How about
I'm
we
still
take
ready
this
to-
conversation outside, perhaps, and we return Zora, and we
Already,
perhaps.
but she just got here.
Shouldn't we take the mother in for questioning as well, since she may be
Well,
says this?
This mother here hasn't had anything to do with this.
Oh,
Other
Yeah,
mother.
she's an innocent
Maybe.
flower, this one.
Sunivas, pipes up.
Unless you want to confess to something. I mean, we are already here, so that would save a lot of time.
Well, I was still trying to decide what to do, but I didn't know that Irvin's had learned magic like that. I had just learned the other day that I accidentally caught him. I found out that he had been using some minor magic to enhance some of his baked goods and food, to make them taste better and, or taste like ingredients that he didn't have and that sort of thing. But of course it would fade really quickly and, so it was like stuff was getting found out. It was going to get found out. And I found out about this and I was still sort of trying to decide what I was going to do. I hadn't told anybody. Because I know we already don't get along. Gianna and I used to be in an adventuring party many years ago, and we had a huge drama thing, and we've had a big falling out. We've never gotten along since. And I feel terrible that our kids want to be friends, but we can't get along well enough to let that happen. And I didn't realize that they were going to get quite so defensive.
Real quick, because I don't fully remember what it's supposed to be, but I have been wild magic surged. How do we do that?
Have you?
I have been given a wild magic surge, yeah.
You have.
Ooh.
That's nice. So there's a thing we're supposed to roll on, I think. Misty has to do that, I believe.
How do you tell when that happens?
I got it in a message on Twitch saying that right as soon as Mortimer told me to get my crap under control.
Oh, that is a good time.
You've
Nice.
got it. The biggest plus nothing. 25.
Let's see what happens.
Wow. Amazing.
So I guess just start shooting things.
I feel like if I were a caster, I could do it more gooder.
Does it appear in whispers when it happens, or just in the regular chat?
In the chat, I got a only visible to you, so I assume it's a whisper.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't tell me who did it. It just says someone spent 5,000 to do wild magic surge on me.
Okay, cool. That's really awesome.
I feel like something happened, but it doesn't matter.
I feel that way about most of my life.
Oof.
Evelina is just gonna like awkwardly pat like Mortimer's ankle and or calf or whatever, and hand him a cinnamon roll.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so you guys are gonna head back to the other bakery, or
I
It's-
think we should head back, yes.
Okay. You gonna bring everybody with you?
At some point, should we report this to the chief to see further instructions, or just handle this entire thing ourselves?
You guys are pretty used to, you're basically in charge of, managing the majority of it yourself. You only go to
Understood.
the chief when you need extra things.
Well, I don't think we want to escalate the situation, so maybe if Suniva and Maduri stay here, we can bring Zora back, and we can do a very subtle, maybe we can figure out if there's actually magic being cast on the baked goods, and we can go from
That's not
there.
a crime.
Okay. No, it's not a crime. That's why I was so torn up about it. It's not a crime, but it's not really very ethical. It's kind of not cool, and but it's not really that harmful. So I was kind of, I hadn't decided what to do, but apparently he decided to get preemptive vengeance. So I've still got to figure out what I'm going to do about these chocolate milk cows.
I'm sorry, I spaced out for a bit. The bakery good is being magically made better or worse?
He was enhancing his baked goods. Yes.
Oh, that's not illegal.
Well,
People do that with their
no,
clothing all the time.
but he wasn't telling anyone. He was under the table doing it.
Hmm.
I think
It's,
you're
so it's,
supposed
it's
to.
like I said, that's why I hadn't decided what I was going to do yet.
Some people are allergic.
Yeah, I think it's like
Magic?
when you have to say something is like 23% juice or something, or that contains artificial flavorings. People need to know what they're eating.
And it does just checking lends credence to all the other allegations. It's just due diligence.
All right then.
So you have to go eat more pastries for science.
Let's go do our job.
All right, so you leave the two Yuan Ti in their apartment, and the little girls, they hug and they're happy to see each other. And
So we're taking the daughter back.
you're gonna take the daughter back to her family, yeah. The human girl, you're gonna take her back to her family. So she gets some hugs, and they part amicably, and because you've all, Zuna's still very worried. She's very worried, but I'm sure you guys have constantly reassured her that it's going to be okay. And
Everything is going to be fine. You'll see her tomorrow after we've thrown her dad in jail.
my dad's going to jail?
Oh, no.
Not yet.
Going to jail.
I don't want my dad to go to jail.
He meant something else, right, Mortimer?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she.
He
Listen,
hasn't
he wasn't
officially done a
talking about
crime
you.
yet.
He wasn't talking about you. We were talking. You will see. She will see Evelina tomorrow after we throw Evelina's dad in jail.
Oh, okay.
This is
And
totally
then
separate.
heads down, and you guys go in patty wagon.
I understand the confusion.
Time to save a
Guys.
friendship.
Evelina's just there like, you haven't even met my parents and you've nailed it down really, really well.
Oh.
My dad does need to be in jail, actually.
I have nothing going on tonight. If you want to throw your dad in jail, we can
I
do
would
that.
rather not have to see him, and it's a very long way back to where I come from.
Plus, we're already on one job.
That's
Yes,
true.
and we wouldn't get paid for throwing him in jail. Quite the opposite, probably.
And your father isn't even a townsfolk, is he? He's from somewhere else?
Yeah, exactly. Outside of our
I was-
jurisdiction.
I don't care then.
No worries.
All right, so you get back to the other cafe,
Yes.
and what are you gonna do? Are you gonna just barge in? Or are you
I'm gonna like nudge Soraya and be like, so I know you're kind of friends and all, but maybe this will go better if you take point and do the talking, because I'm not very good at talking. And the other two, Mortimer and Beholder,
The kids get really loud whenever I speak to them.
yeah, he can be a little or they can be a little intimidating.
I mean, I can be too, but
I'm like
that
the least
probably
intimidating
won't
thing in the
help.
world.
Me too. I can't. I'm charming
on the
even
head.
when I'm scary.
Okay, I can talk to G and what she has to say. I honestly don't have any idea whether or not she knows that her husband is involved in this or not. I want to believe she does, but I'll.
We just need enough time for Cabby to detect some magic on the pastries. Yes.
Yes, I can do it as a ritual, but I don't know if. Yes, I would love to, unless someone else would also love to more.
Go right ahead.
All right, then I do that. I cast it, which involves me smelling all the pastries.
All right. Wow.
And nibbling on them a little bit.
So yeah, it's a little. You've got your hand there to keep the drool. From
Right, which is also part of the process. Like I have to hold the drool up.
See if it's magical. Yeah. So you have a look over them, and you pretend like you're just looking over the pastries, and you do get a faint sense from some of the pastries that there is a bit of magic on them. Like, for example, there's one that says that it's a blueberry pastry.
But they're actually red.
And now that you're, it's sort of a little pocket pastry. And you look at it and you get this very strong sense of blueberries, but looking at it, you realize there's not that many in there. You'd probably need about twice that many to get quite that strong of a smell. So, obviously the something there is being boosted. Everything as you're smelling it smells incredible, absolutely perfect. But as you're getting that very, very close look, you see that, maybe some of these are a little bit stale or they've been sitting there for a day, but they smell and appear at first like they're absolutely fresh made, perfect.
These pastries, the berries are factorially inconsistent. The smell's all wrong. It doesn't, for the amount of berries here, the waft is more potent than it should be. And I should know, I've had a lot of pastries since I joined. Like, even just today.
Do they taste anything like Evelina's?
Some altered approximation.
How many pastry chefs are in this town?
It's not organic by any means, if that's what you're asking.
So it wasn't made with organs. Good.
Oh God, that'd be awful.
Evelina's just there with like a Danish half hanging out of her mouth, out of her bag. She's like,
I didn't check for organs. It's not in my realm of magics. But these berries are weird. They're very, very weird.
And Zora has run upstairs, to her room.
Also, I still eat the cookie.
Of course, it's super good. Who has a good passive perception? Who's maybe higher than like 12?
I have 15.
I have 14.
Oh, perfect.
My
Okay.
investigation's really good.
I have 13.
Okay. Norin, your elf ears pick up the sound of an argument from upstairs. You can just hear it over the sound of the shop and everyone in it. But you hear just right above you, and you kind of notice, you hear, you kind of see the ceiling rattle a little bit because maybe people are kind of stomping around, and there seems to be an argument.
I kind of go, shh.
The people around you quiet, but obviously the shop doesn't stop.
Well, just we're talking or something, whatever. And then, You said it's coming from upstairs?
Yeah.
Can I kind of stroll up that way somewhere so I can see it?
You have to go behind the counter to get to
Oh.
the staircase because it's the staff it's the owner's apartment upstairs. So
Is everything
not
all
like-
right, Glendon?
What exactly am I picking up? Any pertinent information?
You can just hear the yelling. You can just hear that there's an argument happening, and you're assuming that it's probably between Gianna and her husband.
I kind of impart that information. I think there's an argument going on upstairs right about now.
Does it seem like it might escalate?
It probably, yeah.
I'll follow you up there.
I will too.
Oh boy, I love these.
All right. So are you guys just like barging past the, just being like police business, or are you going to try and talk to the employees?
I didn't realize there were still employees down here.
Yeah, well, the shop is still open. Like, you guys haven't.
But all the family members are upstairs, or?
The family members are upstairs, but the employees are running the shop. And there's, the usual customers coming in and out.
Excuse me, employee. Is this a normal occurrence here, or is this something to be concerned about?
The fighting? Oh, this is very new. I'm really worried.
If you don't mind, we'd like to go upstairs and make sure everything is okay.
Yep, we're gonna separate them, and then everything will be all right.
Okay, I really hope I don't get
And
fired.
none of this is your fault.
Thanks. And she lets you back there and lets you go upstairs. So you go behind the counter, and you get a lot of weird looks from the people.
Fortune's business, everybody.
Let's
go about.
go, everybody!
Business.
Yes.
Gone.
Everyone's very impressed by your professionalism. You go up into the apartment, and you see the couple standing in the kitchen, and they're arguing with each other. They're just sort of yelling back and forth and gesturing wildly, and Gianna is saying, "I can't believe you would do that. Why would you risk our business like that?" And Irvins is saying, it wasn't supposed to go like that. This wasn't how it was supposed to happen, and I just went too far. And then you hear them sort of saying these things back and forth to each other. And then as you come into the room, they both stop and turn and stare at you.
Well, I bet you're wondering why I called you all here today.
While he does this, I'm slowly walking around so I can make sure to be in between them and any cutlery in the kitchen.
Gianna's like, "You're in our house." You're like, "I've called you all here today." Like, you walk into there.
I'm so sorry about this, G. We just need some answers, and then we'll be on our way.
I can't believe this is happening. And she sits down in the chair, and she's very upset. And Irvin's looks like he's thinking about bolting, like he's about to run, but then he sees that there's some cops like coming in on the other side to make sure that he doesn't do that. And
I go into the monologue for how I figured everything out. Pacing, hand behind my back, but it's nonsense, and I do it too quiet. So,
And I don't know.
Yeah. So
Would it be-
Spy, you're getting Gianna's hugging you and just sort of needing some comfort.
Why don't you tell us what he told you?
Zora comes running downstairs, and Zora comes. You hear a clattering sound, and you look over, and in the hallway, an attic door drops, and a ladder comes down, and Zora comes down with a book in her hands. And the husband just slumps, and he's like, "Fine, it was me. I don't know about the
Hooray, a
chocolate thing.
confession. That's gonna hold up in court, right? Everyone heard him confess.
You are the one who turned the cows into chocolate.
I tried to curse them. I didn't mean for the chocolate thing to happen. That didn't work. And Zora's like, that was me and Midori.
Excellent
when
work.
You try to murder someone but fail, you still go to jail. And I don't know if it's the same here, but we're gonna assume yes.
Negative. Do you have the capabilities of turning this curse around?
I can't believe my kid found out about this.
Yep, it's a real smart cookie, that one.
They're small, but they're not stupid.
He sits down and he's like, well, look, I happened across this spell book. I found it in some stuff, and I thought maybe if we could just get a leg up, maybe we could do a little better, open another, location or something. And I was just testing some stuff and trying to boost the taste. And then Suniva caught me and thought she would thought she was gonna rat me out and ruin my business. So I thought if I messed with her business, it would slow her down and I'd take the slack. Turns out the kids found the spell and made some changes. They were just supposed to make sour milk. It wasn't supposed to hurt the cows.
That seemed fine.
Would cost her
That's
money.
why you deserve some leniency, because you could have just slaughtered the cows and that would have been horrible. This was weird, but some good fun. So that should impact your sentence. If you get a good lawyer, who knows how it will go.
Oh, we are arresting him. Excellent.
Oh yeah, we have
Not yet.
I cast hold
cannot
person on
just yet.
Okay, he goes all rigid with the.
There we go. Problem
now-
solved.
Mortimer,
Alright.
he still has some things he needed to answer, and now his mouth is stuck.
Well, you can
yes.
take him back to the station.
Also,
Well,
Take him into
it's been a
holding.
pleasure, everybody. I'll be taking that magic spell book as my payment.
Sorry,
And
sorry.
done.
Evidence.
Oh.
So,
You see,
Everything goes
Evelina-
well, we can release it afterwards.
As Mortimer's reaching for it, you see
perhaps-
Evelina just kind of dart in and be like, we don't need to fight about this, please. And she's just like staring up at these two much larger people and just grabs the
Understood.
spell book.
Hey, is it a crime if I cast that chocolate milk spell on wild cows?
No.
How about it?
wait. Why? Oh yes, okay. We differentiate. Wild cows should be
Yes.
fine. Privately owned cows must be a crime, or else this arrest is
what about your own cow?
awkward.
Buy your own cow and then cast the chocolate milk spell on it.
It was children who cast the spell. If the spell can be reversed, it's up to the store owner to decide whether or not they need to press charges. If they don't, nothing can be done here. We have nothing we can do.
But we also have determined that cows are sentient. But do they get to say this?
Well, I didn't understand a word they said, so I can't really confirm that.
All right, so you guys, we just need to do a little wrapping here. So you guys get your, you arrest Irvins, you bring him back to the cell in your station. You fill out all the requisite paperwork. Everyone is paid.
That's the best
And-
part.
For their job, and the deputies are also paid. And
Hooray.
Mortimer gets to give away a few more autographs. He's got
Oh,
some
yeah.
fans there.
Will you sign my puppet?
Of course, I love the puppets. And yeah, I see you got the Wendy one. That's my favorite.
She's a very interesting character.
You know, she did most of the work. The
really?
book publishers, they didn't like her brand as much because she wasn't all about the money and I was. So her role is sort of downplayed in all the books. But she's the real one.
Love it.
Yeah, and they eventually get the next day. There is everyone gets together. There is a mediation where the shop owners, the two families sit together with a mediator, and they talk and go over a few things and manage to work out a solution wherein they can't seem to figure out how to reverse the spell entirely. And now that word has gotten out that she has chocolate milk cows, she is actually getting some offers for them. So they decide to work together, and so Irvins and Gianna now have to help Suniva expand her farm a little bit to accommodate for a couple more new not chocolate milk cows, to sort of pay back the milk lost. And they agree to allow the kids to play together as well.
And eventually they get married.
So there's your first case solved.
We got to jail a cow. I'm glad about that.
You did get to jail a cow. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Yes.
The cow was released, right?
Yeah, when you put Daisy in the anti-magic, she did stop producing the chocolate milk, but started producing it again when she came out. So
that's good. That's good knowledge. I'm sure that will come up in a really precarious
bizarre
situation in the future. Yeah.
Later on. Mortimer, you now have a brand new spell. You have the chocolate milk spell. Not only can you do it cow, but you can at lower levels simply do it on a container of milk, or a container of anything. Really, turn it chocolate.
Well, I'm sure that'll come in handy.
Just write it down as Chockify food and drink.
Yes.
And Moto, can you write down the just basic recipe of that spell for me?
Yeah, you guys can
I'll
both
get
get
right
that.
on that.
You can also, all the wizards can have that spell.
I was going to copyright it.
I'll pay you royalties. I'll pay you royalties every time I use it.
It's Chockify food and drink.
Yep.
Write that down.
Yeah. What are you calling it, Mortimer? So I know what to write for my spell.
Mortimer Jones's Chockify food and drink.
Chocolatify or Chockify? I think
Chockify sounds great.
Sounds
Mortimer Jones.
Well, maybe just Mortimer. Mortimer's Chockify food and drink.
I would say Chocolatify
cow.
because otherwise it sounds like it makes it into chalk.
Chalk.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
We also get backstage passes.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah. Everybody gets backstage passes and front row seats to Mortimer's play. And our bard has quite the tale.
I certainly do. Yeah.
And you're thinking, you've got the plot for a children's book kind of going through your head now, and you're thinking, we make some money out of this. Maybe I can go to that bard college.
Yes, the children's book will be my thesis.
So I believe we can do our outros.
Okay. And I will homebrew that spell into my spell book.
Awesome.
Oh, it'll be awesome.
I'm such a smiley person normally in my life, so being is difficult as hell for a long period of time.
You did really well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, what did you guys like about that? Like, what was your favorite part?
The cow. And just can we put it in jail?
Determining whether or not we could.
That was an awesome part. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the party dynamic
Mm-hmm.
It is
Yeah.
fun.
for sure.
Yeah. You guys are a
Basically-
great group.
Yeah, basically putting Evelina and Cabby as the interrogators of the party to basically ask all the questions. You want the good cop? That was neat.
Good cop,
awkward
cool cop. yeah, or cool cop, awkward cop.
Fabulous call.
Mom cop, cool cop, and then
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh my god, mom cop, dad cop should be a thing.
Well, it is now.
You did make some
Yeah.
puns, so
Yeah, I don't know if there's a gnome thing or a dad thing, but I think it could be a both thing.
I love that you guys are both gnomes. I just think it's great.
mhm.
Yeah.
So-
I'm actually in my notes. I'm writing down mom cop, dad cop. It's just
I'm gonna need to remember the dynamic for the
Maybe
next
it's
time we
what-
do an interrogation.
Yeah, and then you have a cool aunt and
Yeah. The cool
We
amp.
met a famous person, got to hang
You
out
did?
with a bard, my favorite
Yep.
class.
Mhm.
That
I
raises.
didn't get to sing you guys any songs this time. But it's
Dang it.
We're holding
you
you to it.
managed to get through it without any combat.
Yep.
Well,
No
that's
combat.
nice.
So there was a chance of that, but who knows?
It
Will
was
we
like-
fought the cows? Because
Oh, you were not going to fight
pretty
the
tough.
cows. You were going to fight if you hadn't caught the husband. You were going to have to chase him down because he was going to run.
have you seen the stat block for cow? Because it's a hell of a thing.
No, but I'm going to look it up now.
You don't want to mess with them at like level 1.
It's a good thing we're level 5 then.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But they do 2d6 damage.
What?
Nice.
Oh,
Wow.
Ow.
Okay, let's start with we'll go backwards from the way that we started. So I'm Mad Fishmonger. I can be found by that name everywhere online, and I am DMing this game. Hooray! And I am playing in a game of Pathfinder on Tuesdays with Capricorn Cross, and I play more D&D on Wednesdays with the Stalwart Initiative
And me.
and you. And you can also find me on a super awesome podcast called Runelanders Rapscallions, which you should go and listen to. The latest episode has a recap, so you can get caught right up. And you can see all of those in all of my links. So you can just see my links. And we'll go backwards. So Media Flare.
All right, how's it going, everybody? I'm Media Flare. You can find me pretty much everywhere with that name, including random like app games. We do a D&D adventure every Wednesday on my own stream. We use the recently betaed Tailspire app, so everything's in 3D, has cute little models for it. Otherwise, the audiobook Sky Hunters is just published, and I read through that if you wanted to listen to my soothing voice for like 16 hours.
Awesome. That's amazing. I'd love to do that. Audiobook. That's fun. Paladin Hulk.
Hi everybody, I'm Paladin Hulk. You can find me next on the Stalwart Initiative channels, playing with Madfish, where I play Torval the Turtle. I'm a ranger. We have a lot of fun, but things are getting pretty dark. And on Sundays, I play Holt, the pirate paladin who tries to make friends with all the evil pirates. And that's going really well as well, except that the GM is splitting the party, which means that all the NPCs have made friends with are going one way, and we're going the other way. So I'm losing a bunch of friends, and that sucks. And that's it. I show up in other places, but that's the main thing.
Awesome. I love your voices. You do such great voices.
You do.
And Earl, who I am new to playing with.
I'm not good at these outros. I'm not that popular. My name's Earl Poirier. You can find me on Twitter at Earl Poirier. I guess you want to look at some of my old film and TV stuff. You can look me up on IMDb. And that's about it. That's pretty much it for me. In and out.
Awesome. It's great to have you. And our little wizard Cabby.
Aw. I'm Jack LaRogue. You can find me on Twitter at JLaRogue. I'm a video game journalist, D&D blogger, and fledgling adventure designer. I have one that I'm pretty proud of coming out hopefully soon. Obviously, the current times have slowed things down, but it's Trials of the Europrana. It's a narrative-heavy trip into Feywild with lots of fun, whimsical traps. Things like body swapping and transfer. It's fun, I believe. And I'll also be starting. We're in pre-production now. A podcast with D&D Elise, just kind of writer in the community. I recommend checking out her stuff too. And other than that, I'm just mostly a forever DM. This was a great chance to play. I love it. I'm excited to develop characters with y'all.
That's awesome. That's really good to hear. And our second special guest, or well, your special guest number one on the.
That doesn't mean I'm number one though.
Oh, you are.
It certainly does. You are number one.
Number one in your heart. My name is Christiana. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, whatever social media you use, as Carpe Christie, like Carpe Diem, but I was 12 when I made that. It just kind of stuck though. I'm fairly new to D&D actually. I've only been playing for about 6 months, but I'm obsessed, as
awesome.
I think most people become that way. So I'm not on any streaming things yet. I just play a lot of home games through Zoom, so I'm really happy for that kind of technology now. But yeah, I mean, I'm a born paralegal, so I don't have anything to let you guys know about, but I'm working on hopefully getting some audiobook stuff done too.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome.
And so there'll be an update in the future.
That's awesome.
Cool. Nice.
This was such a blast. I love the world you've created.
Oh, thank you.
Very fun.
Just get a quick outro from Tauros.
Yeah. So I am Autumn Graves. You can find me at Taurus Donuts on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. Currently, you can find me here on Mondays. That is about the only stream I have going on right now. And I have recently finished helping do some writing and editing for a super fun level 7 D&D adventure that has been published by Mage Hand Press. I will put a link in the chat. And all of the proceeds are going to Feeding America. So it's a fun, lighthearted adventure to give us all some agency in some crazy ass times.
Yeah.
Nice.
And other than that, you can find me at themisfitadventurers.com. It is a D&D novelization that I'm currently building with my home game that will one day be a full cast audiobook. So updates are there.
Wow. Ooh, that's great. That's so awesome. You guys do so much cool stuff. I forgot, actually, I wrote an adventure for something that's coming out next week. Will be coming out next Monday. It is called The Princess Project. And I wrote a social adventure about a wedding. So
Aw.
That
Yeah.
sounds awesome.
you get to help make the wedding happen. So yeah, I don't know. I thought it would be nice to write a sort of more lighthearted adventure. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to that one. And there's some other just the art. So yeah, check that out. It's amazing artists in that one, in the Princess Project. So yeah, check that out. And yeah, I'm super happy you guys had a good time.